Welcome back to Nation of Glory. Today, we bring you the inspiring story of a man who defied the odds, who fought through every challenge, and who built his name, not just in one company, but all over the wrestling world. This is the journey of Alan Neil Jones, the man the world knows as AJ Styles. Stay with us until the end, because this story is about resilience, faith, sacrifice, and the glory of never giving up. AJ Styles was born on June 2, 1977, in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Life wasn't easy for young Alan. He grew up in poverty, in a small home, where money was always tight, and opportunities seemed scarce. He was raised by a father who struggled with alcoholism, and that environment shaped Alan's childhood in ways most kids will never understand. There were no golden spoons, no glamorous beginnings. What he had was survival, discipline, and the desire to find anything that could give him a purpose. That struggle became the fire that fueled him. As a child, AJ found comfort in sports. Wrestling wasn't his first dream. He actually fell in love with amateur wrestling and football while attending Johnson High School. His athleticism stood out. He was fast, strong, and tough, but he also carried something else, an unmatched will to push through pain. Even when his family couldn't afford cable television to watch professional wrestling, young Alan heard about the legends, and he imagined himself stepping into the ring one day. Wrestling, in a way, gave him a vision of freedom. After high school, AJ enrolled at Anderson University on a partial scholarship for wrestling. But money problems forced him to drop out. With no degree and no clear path, he took odd jobs mowing lawns, driving an ambulance, and working where he could just to survive. But somewhere deep inside, he knew his calling was waiting. And in 1998, AJ Styles officially entered professional wrestling. He began at a small promotion, called National Championship Wrestling. It wasn't glamorous, the pay was minimal, and the crowds were small. But AJ had something that set him apart. His speed, his aerial maneuvers, his unique style. People started noticing. He blended martial arts, strikes with high-flying moves in a way that felt brand new. From those tiny gyms and armories, AJ Styles began writing his story. In 2001, a short opportunity came his way in World Championship Wrestling, WCW. AJ appeared on Nitro, teaming with Air Paris, showing flashes of brilliance. But just as the door opened, WCW was bought out by WWE, and the dream of instant stardom disappeared. AJ was offered a developmental deal by WWE, but here's the twist: he turned it down. Why? Because he didn't want to relocate at a time when his wife needed him most. That decision, one many might see as a setback, was actually a defining moment of loyalty. AJ Styles always chose family first. It wasn't the easy road, but it was his road. From there, AJ traveled across the independent scene. He competed in Ring of Honor, where he became the very first Raw Pure Wrestling champion. In Raw, fans saw a glimpse of something special. They saw a man who could tell a story, not just with his words, but with every move he performed in the ring. The Phenomenal One nickname wasn't just a tagline, it was real. Every dive, every springboard, every clash of styles, it made fans believe they were watching the future. But the company that truly became AJ's platform to shine was Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, TNA. AJ Styles became the heart and soul of TNA. From the very beginning, he carried the company on his back, delivering classics against names like Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, Kurt Angle, and Sting. His matches weren't just fights, they were works of art. Fans tuned in to watch AJ Styles because they knew they were going to see something unique, something they couldn't find anywhere else. He wasn't the biggest man in the ring, but he had the biggest heart. In TNA, AJ became a multiple-time world champion, an X-Division legend, and the face of the brand. He proved that size doesn't define greatness. Talent, passion, and work ethic do. For more than a decade, he gave everything to that company. But eventually, AJ realized he needed to grow beyond the walls of TNA. He needed to test himself against the best wrestlers in the world, in places he had never been. That path took him to Japan, to New Japan Pro Wrestling. And it was here that AJ Styles reinvented himself yet again. In NJPW, he joined the infamous Bullet Club and quickly became the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. Imagine this: an American stepping into Japan and not just surviving, but thriving as a leader, as a world champion. His matches with Kazuchika Okada, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Shinsuke Nakamura are remembered as classics that shaped modern wrestling. He wasn't just a star in America anymore. AJ Styles became an international sensation. and then came 2016, a year that would forever change AJ's life. After years of proving himself everywhere else, AJ Styles finally walked into WWE. The moment he entered the Royal Rumble match, the crowd erupted. Fans who had followed his journey for nearly 2 decades screamed his name. They had waited for this moment, and now the world was watching the phenomenal one on the grandest stage of them all. AJ didn't waste a second. Within months, he was wrestling top names like John Cena, Roman Reigns, and Chris Jericho. His feud with Cena, in particular, showed that AJ could not only hang with the best but could outperform them. He pinned Cena clean, something very few had ever done, and in doing so, cemented himself as a main event star. Later that same year, AJ Styles captured the WWE Championship, proving that no matter how long the road, destiny had finally led him to the pinnacle. What makes AJ Styles' story so powerful isn't just the titles he's won or the matches he's delivered. It's the journey. From poverty, from family struggles, from rejection and setbacks, he never gave up. He turned every no into motivation. He built his name, the hard way, brick by brick, ring by ring, until the world had no choice but to recognize his greatness. Even today, AJ continues to inspire. He's not just a wrestler, he's a family man, a leader in the locker room, and an example that dreams do come true if you're willing to fight for them. His faith, his humility, and his dedication set him apart. He doesn't see himself as untouchable. He sees himself as someone blessed, someone who worked hard, and someone who always stayed true to who he is. Fans call him phenomenal, and he is. But the real secret is that AJ Styles represents something bigger than wrestling. He represents the belief that no matter where you start, no matter how tough life gets, if you keep pushing, if you keep fighting, you can achieve the impossible. That's why people love him, that's why his story matters, and that's why his legacy will live forever. And so, Nation of Glory, we thank you for joining us on this journey through the life of AJ Styles. From the small halls of North Carolina to the bright lights of WWE, his path reminds us all that glory isn't given, it's earned. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more incredible stories of wrestling legends. Until next time, thank you, and remember, stay phenomenal.